Sprat. Hey. Hey.
Come here. Let's have a chat. Alright, inspection time. Look at my eyes for as long as you can without blinking. Starting now.
Okay, you just blinked. What's this all about?
Did I stutter? Just do as I say.
Look into his eyes.
Look up. Now look down. You're doing swell. Now, name and occupation. Good enough for me. You're cleared to pass. That was a sanity check. If you had changed like the others, it'd be in your eyes. You'd also be drooling, cursing, and making a mess of the place. Welcome to the Sprat Shack. You can head on downstairs.
What exactly did you mean by people had changed?
Every day, salvagers and scrappers set out to comb the ruins and make their fortune. The ones who come back, they aren't always the same men or women who left. They change. Never for the better.
Okay, what happens when people change?
First, they get real twitchy and paranoid, shouting at folks who aren't there. Then they smell like they soiled themselves, on account of how they soiled themselves. After that, they're gone. Nothing but animals wearing human skin. Seen it happen myself. It's never pretty.
Where exactly am I?
This is the Sprat Shack, the most remote watering hole in the system. Rule number 1, no fighting. Rule number 2, wipe your feet on the way downstairs. We're the only hospitable place on this rock. I want to keep it that way. That's why we have rule number 3. When people change, they stay outside, where they belong.
Okay.
Just don't ask me to dance.
Well, I will not. What do you do around here? I'm guessing security.
Bouncer, bodyguard, law enforcer. I make sure the Sprat Shack gets only the highest caliber of clientele.
And I thought this place was gonna be fun.
We get a lot of brand-loyal corporate types, and a lot of cutthroat freelancer types. Both sides have their share of dirty scoundrels. And I hate dirt.
Okay. What kinds of people come to the Sprat Shack?
This is a sublight bar, so most of our regulars come to plunder the old labs. The facility's locked up behind miles of red tape, so progress is slow. A lot of time to drink and reevaluate, then venture out and try again.
What do you know about Gorgon?
Something bad happened here. Spacer's Choice was developing chemicals. The kind with nasty side effects. Marauders outnumber the rest of us 10 to 1. Either they came from Gorgon, or something draws them here. I don't know which is worse. This place is under a dark cloud, stranger. That's all I know. If you want the history of the Sprat Shack, talk to Lex behind the bar.
Can do.
Stay cool.
Oh, almost at level. What quest are we on? Okay. So, yeah.
Smell that? Cheap whiskey and stale cigarettes. My kind of place.
Yay. Okay. Hello, Lex.
Welcome to the Sprat Shack. First one's on the house, and I won't even water it down. What'll it be?
Whiskey.
Bottoms up. I assume you're here for salvage.
Not exactly, but can you explain what you mean?
Most of my regulars are sublight scavengers. They pick over the ruins of Gorgon, spend their earnings at the bar, and head back out the next day. Vicious cycle, but that's life. You're the first new face I've seen in a while.
You know anyone by the name of Lucky Montoya?
Lucky? Sure, I knew him. He could get a little dramatic at times, but he was a good guy. Heard he took on a dangerous job. Spent a lot of time coming and going from the Office of Creative Incubation, just down the road.
You're talking in the past tense.
That's where the top rungers at Spacer's Choice came up with slogans and marketing. Lucky never told me why it was so important. Awful shame about what happened to him.
What happened?
You really want to hear my story? Law, most everyone around here is sick to death of it by now. Last I saw of Lucky was a few days ago. I went outside for a smoke and a stroll, and I saw this wild canid dragging a bloody limb. So I kicked the canid, scared it off. Get this, the canid was chewing on an honest-to-law human arm. Lucky's arm.
Okay, so... I'm seeing where this is going.
Anyway, the arm was clutching a phonograph that mentioned someone named Alex Hawthorne. I did some poking around, and this Hawthorne has a reputation among the salvagers who frequent the bar. So I packaged up the arm nice and tidy and sent it care of the Halcyon parcel service. They even gave me a discount on the hazardous waste removal stamp.
The arm made it to me.
No kidding. And now you're here? Colony feels smaller than you'd think some days. I'm glad I was here to see this confluence of events, you know? The stars really aligned on this one. And here I am, smack dab in the middle.
Why bother sending the arm?
I figured Hawthorne would want to know what happened to his pal. Help Lucky get his affairs in order, you know. Oh, I hate to see people go with unfinished business.
Where was Lucky staying?
3rd floor. Once I figured he wasn't coming back to pay his tab, I left his room unlocked to air it out. You can help yourself to anything you left behind. Fair warning, I've been letting the regulars use it for a quick lie down. Just wash your hands when you're done. Trust me.
So you run this place?
Yes and no. The Sprat Shack used to be a shipping and receiving warehouse during the old Project Gorgon days. When Spacer's Choice pulled their guys off-world, Sublight moved in to salvage what we could, and they put me in charge.
So Sublight owns Sprat Shack now?
Yes and no. Rumor has it there's a Sprat wandering around the Groundbreaker, and he's the legal owner of the Sprat Shack. Hagen's idea. I've seen the paperwork. Everything's in order. When I say my boss is a filthy sprat, I'm not exaggerating. See, Hagen didn't want a paper trail that led back to her, so she gave the bar to the Sprat. If there were any legal problems with this place, the Sprat would do the time.
You know, they do something similar in Byzantium. Fancier system, but same idea.
Anyway, that's what the paperwork says. I don't make the rules.
How could you even know which Sprat is the right one?
Easy. His name's Matt. The beautiful thing is, no one could tell Matt Sprat apart from an ordinary vermin. I think that's kind of the point, to send the authorities on a wild Sprat chase.
Okay. I'll try not to step on him.
I wouldn't lose any sleep over it. The Sprat Shack's gone through a lot of title holders over the years. As far as business arrangements go, this one's a head-scratcher, but they say it's all above board, so that's what matters. Yes and no. We're doing a lot more than squatting. We're classing up the joint, keeping the riffraff outside where it belongs. They didn't even serve drinks until I arrived. Talk about wasted potential.
Can you answer any question without starting yes and no?
Yes. And no. Again, that one was Hagen's idea. She told me that speaking in vague terms keeps you out of trouble. And I don't want any trouble in my place.
How do you get supplies in and out?
Thirsty people come and go from all over the colony, mostly on the way to somewhere better. Some are well connected, and not everyone pays with bits. That's how we get the unconventional goods anyhow. Sublight keeps us well stocked with the essentials, by which I mean booze.
Do you know much about Gorgon?
Spacer's Choice used to brew pharmaceuticals in these parts. That's why the asteroid smells like an old gym sock. They say Adrenatime came from here, just down the road at the old R&D lab. Very hush-hush back in the day.
Ew. Would any regulars have more information?
Roscoe might tell you more. He spent some time around here before the bar opened up. And I trust him well enough. There's always Leonora, my favorite customer over in the storage room on the second floor. Keeps to herself and always closes out her tab.
What's Roscoe's story?
He's been here since opening day. I think he told me he was some kind of journalist. He got left behind when Spacer's Choice pulled out. And I guess no one's coming to get him.
Poor bastard.
Roscoe's drinks are on the house. We all know how it feels to get left behind. He'll be all right. He's with the family now, and we take care of our own.
What can tell Lenara?
Nice lady. Been coming around a lot these past few months. She isn't with Sublight, but seems to know the lay of the land better than anyone. She spends most of her days drinking alone. I think she's looking to hire someone, if you're open to a side gig.
Ew. Do you know if she spoke with Lucky?
Now that you mention it, I thought I saw those two sharing stories over a pint. Didn't think twice about it. I don't speak ill of the dead, but Leonora deserves better company. That Lucky was no good for her.
Thanks for the tip.
What are friends for, eh?
Any idea why Spacer's Choice shut down Gorgon?
I doubt anyone knows the full story. One day the evacuation order went out. Grunts and lab coats scrambled to get anywhere but Gorgon. And the weirdest thing of all, Adrenatime still hit the market. Me, I never touched the stuff. To each their own, but I think it's dangerous.
Scavengers must be making a fortune.
Damn right we are. We've got drugs, scrap metal, prototype weapons, drugs, money, and more drugs. When Spacer's Choice evacuated, everyone dropped their gear and ran. Most of it stayed where it fell, and all of it is up for grabs. Of course, the real treasure is whatever's locked up in the old facility. Until someone figures a way to crack it open, we're just sifting through dirt. You got it, bub.
That's about it.
Good. I've got paying customers.
Right, so... Tixie, Freddy,
You're a humbug, Trixie, and worse, a thief.
I can't
Ready.
steal what's lawfully mine, you tangle-footed dimwit.
Break it up, you two. I've heard more than
Let's-
enough of your shit for one day.
I wouldn't get too close to that railing, just in case.
Okay.
Huh, who's this now? Wonder if they could... Ah, who am I kidding?
Ah.
Holy shit, a fresh face. Haven't seen your like in years. Don't know what brought you to the most dangerous corner of this solar system, pal, but you're welcome here. Oh, you talked to Lex yet? She tell you to keep it civil? You wouldn't guess to talk to her, but that lady's got a mean left hook.
I talked to her. Mentioned you were some kind of journalist.
Some kind. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Got into reporting thinking I was gonna be some sort of public intellectual. What a joke. Spent 95% of my time playing stenographer to the board, and the rest writing puff pieces on the chairman's latest beard trim. Real life and death shit.
You seem like you're having a rough time. Can I help you out?
If you're going back out there, Do you think you'd be willing to do an old bastard a small favor?
Helping out old bastards is 80% of my job. What do you need?
Does this involve going somewhere we don't belong? Those are my favorite jobs.
Well, I've been trying to get away from this rock for 5 lobby-fucked years, but I can't stay gone.
Why's that?
Told you I was a journalist, right? I was here on a story back when Project Gorgon was active. I was doing an interview series for Spacer's Choice. Recorded them all on these little portable phonographs. But when everything fell to shit, Spacer's Choice wouldn't let me leave. Terms of my reporting contract unmet, they said.
You hid them, now you want me to get them.
Right on the money. Look at me, I'm no fighter. I've never even touched a gun. But you're just the right amount of rough around the edges. Help me get my recordings back so I can finally get the hell out of here.
Why stash the recordings?
Someone had been trying to steal them since the day my assistant and I started interviewing. Couldn't even keep them in my safe. They always found a way in. So I took to hiding them all over the fucking asteroid. Thought I was so clever. What a fool I was.
You mentioned an assistant. Where are they now?
Oh, Georgie? Yeah, she helped me with interviews. A real whiz with the portable recorder tech, too. When things got crazy, I shoved her onto the last ship off Gorgon. With any luck, she's safe and comfortable in Byzantium. She tried every which way to stay, but it was my contract keeping us here, not hers. Didn't seem fair she'd have to suffer just because I made a bad deal.
Why not just forget the contract and leave?
Oh, I've tried, make no mistake. I've caught a couple of rides out with sublight folks, but the board's fixers always send me right back. And I'm not about to stand toe-to-toe with marauders just to fulfill a line item on a contract.
Okay, I'll get them.
No shit? That's downright civilized of you. All right. One of them I stashed in the Office of Creative Incubation, in the projector room on the 3rd floor. I gave another to my friend Birdie to keep in her apartment, just outside OCI's upper entrance.
Got it. Next.
You'll find another in the chem lab. It's in the main lab storage room.
Alright, easy enough.
The final one is in human inquiry and auditing. It's tucked behind a pipe in observation room B.
The observation, wouldn't someone have seen you?
What with the test subjects running loose, the researchers were surprisingly unobservant.
Okay, got it. I'll be back.
Strength to your sword arm, friend. And thank you.
Okay. Bar patron. Anyone?
This place anyhow.
Used to be a shipping warehouse. Supplies came in, deadly chemicals went out.
Okay. Maybe not that away. What about this way?
Jerome would have loved this place.
Hello. I had chat about you.
You don't look like one of the salvagers, no? Don't really seem like the type. You've got the look of someone who's traveled far to get here and whose journey is far from over.
What makes you say that?
Confidence. The scavengers around here, they're faking it. You're the real deal. I don't know if you're bound for the old ruins, but in case you are, can you look into something? I'd do it myself, but of course, the marauders would eat me alive.
Depends on what you need.
Looking for something out there. Been paying Sublight to help me, but they haven't made much progress.
The sublight couldn't turn over a rock.
Well put. My husband and I worked on Gorgon during the good times. Jerome was on maintenance duty. I cleaned out test tubes till they sparkled.
Couldn't dread asking, but where is he?
Nowhere good, that's for sure. In his final hours, Gorgon was a war zone. Violence broke out in the labs. The hills were full of marauders. You couldn't take a leisurely stroll without an armed escort. When the order came through to evacuate, non-essential personnel drew a lottery to see who would board the first wave of ships. Jerome won. I lost. As soon as I wasn't looking, Jerome switched our tickets and pushed me to the front of the line. I got to leave. Jerome stayed behind. I never saw him again.
So what brings you back?
A broken heart, that's what. This place is greedy. It took my Jerome, and it would have taken me too. I just want one thing back. His old hip flask. I gave it to him the day we signed our marriage contract, and he carried it wherever he went. I know it's still here.
What do you think happened?
No point in denying it. He died on this rock, likely torn apart by marauders, unless he took care of himself on his own terms. I don't like to imagine what happened, but I know I have to accept it.
I can keep an eye out.
You'd really do that for me? Law, and I'll bet you're worth 10 of those sublight sprats. I don't have much, but if you help me, there's a little set aside for the occasion. Jerome used to drink with his buddies in a small kitchen opposite the maintenance shed. Might be a good place to check first.
Wanted to ask you something.
Yeah?
Do you know Lucky Montoya?
That old flirt? Yeah, I let him buy me a drink or two. He talked my ear off about exciting jobs he'd done. All lies, I'm sure. He fell asleep with his head on my shoulder. That man had baggage like you wouldn't believe. I didn't think anyone could be lonelier than me.
Did he mention anything about the Gorgon research facility?
He bragged about having the key to some sort of maintenance area in one of the old buildings. I never saw it, so I just assumed he was talking himself up. He also asked if I wanted to see something gross and slimy he kept in his room, but I declined, politely.
Probably wise.
He put on quite a front, but I think he was weary, like he'd seen too much and had too little to show for it. Guess we were kindred spirits in a way.
Thank you.
Sure thing. My condolences if you two were close.
How about time on Gorgon?
The lab coats kept quiet about the project, but the air was charged with excitement. You could feel it wherever you went. They wanted to change the world. A tenfold boost to worker productivity with no side effects? Who wouldn't salivate at the thought? I don't know what went wrong, but when the shit hit the fan, it sprayed everyone in its path, including me.
Okay. Interesting.
I heard a rumor the board is gonna shut this place down.
That'll never happen.
Okay, so we need to go up more. How do we go up more? That's how we go up more. Okay.
What have you got there?
Adrenatime, I think. I found some in an old busted.
Okay, so this must be the place. Oof. So... you can't unlock that. Oh, workbench. Requires access code. Mag pick. Bypass shunt. Capsule. Worrying. Okay, the case notes. Day 1, Spacer's choice mayor left in a hurry, but didn't forget to lock the doors on the way out. Most of the facilities are sealed up tighter than a top rugger's safe. Time to do some digging. Day 6. Caught a break today, met a salvager who claims to be a salesman for Spacer's Choice. Sold me a key to the Office of Creative Incubation. Let's just say the guy's about as lucid as a sprat on Razzo's factory. But I'm spending millions bits, so I can afford to take a chance. Worked, Clarence, mostly, whoever you are, I'm drinking to you tonight. Day 10. Olivia Ambrose office and a journal ought to be in the Synthesis and Manufacture Centre. The bad news is it's sealed up and at the arse end of a canyon. Good news is I should be able to open it with the Bigwoods admin terminal in OCI. Day 13. OCI is crawling with marauders and I've got a few other leads to chase down. Could be nothing, but my gut tells me there's more to this place than a missing journal. Time to turn over a few rocks. I'm leaving the OCI safe in the combo is 4815. Preserved eye?
As a medical professional, I gotta say, that is very well preserved. And disgusting.
Okay. Okay, we have things. Bard. Ooh, what are you?
Someone's in here. Oh, well.
Back up again.
Okay. We'll let you be sick. Let's go and say ciao to our lovely host.
I don't want any trouble in my place.
Never mind.
Come back when you're thirsty.
Okay. Things are going well. Okay.
Any trouble I should know about? If you're heading downstairs, order something sweet.
Okay.